What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Every Week We Follow. This is our Tel Aviv preview for a game on Thursday evening under the lights at Villa Park. It's going to be an interesting, emotional, hopefully safe fixture to attend. I've got my wonderful pal Ben joining me again because James is still sunning himself in bloody Portugal. But he is back this week. He was on our Liverpool preview earlier on in the week, and hopefully he'll be back for the review of this game. But Ben's very kindly offered to step in again. So thanks, Ben. Welcome. How are you doing?
No, I'm all right, thanks. No problem at all. I'm flattered to be called back. What's this, a third time? I must be doing something right.
Mate, this is your hat trick appearance.
Yes, thank you. I watched your Liverpool review with James earlier. I'm not sure I'm a batch on him, but yeah, we'll continue in his absence.
We'll continue in his absence. And like I say, Tech Man, we had our bit of gifts back, which was nice to pick apart some of the footage from Saturday's game. Hopefully we'll have the same on Friday for this. So this will be coming out on Wednesday afternoon. We're shooting it on Monday. So we haven't got any team news. So we're just going to be guessing at what we think the team's going to be and what we'd like to see. And we'll have a little bit of debate about that a little bit later on. We'll have some score predictions in here, and we'll be just talking about, I guess, general form in the Europa League and how we feel we're going to pan out in the coming weeks, really, in these fixtures that we've got coming up. So, let's get into it, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So I guess Thursday will be a bit of a special night under the lights. Because one thing I'm not going to do is get involved in the political talk of this. We spoke about it off air. I know there's lots going on, but we're just going to talk about the football and hopefully have a decent dialogue about how we're going to win this game, right, and how it's going to affect Villa going forward, rather than getting into all the nitty-gritty of what's going on around it. There's a couple of things I'd like to discuss about the game, but I'm not going to go deep into political barriers. So if you've got any comments about that, please try and keep them, respectful and whatnot. But while you're there, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that follow button because we need all the love and support we can get. And if you're interested in winning the football, here it is.
Can we have a spin, Gary? You haven't given me a spin yet.
We can have a spin. All right. We can have a spin. It's always a worldly thing. But £5 gets your donation to Acorns. The QR code is down there on your screen. There is a link in the bio, so click that. Watch this space. We are going to actually extend that draw. We were going to do it for Christmas. However, I am looking at organising something more of a charitable show. Ben's part of this. We spoke about it on our Claret and Brewery episode, which is out tomorrow of Tuesday. So this will be out before this one, of doing a live YouTube show from the attic where people can post questions live and we can have a proper debate. Maybe they £5 donation to get your question in and we'll talk about it and we'll see if we can raise £1,000. So we're going to extend it probably into the new year and do that episode in the new year. So watch this space for the date for that. Anyway, I digress. Back onto this wonderful night at Villa Park. I think, and you can let me know if the comments if I'm wrong about this, because we usually get things wrong here on Every Week We Follow, that this is the first competitive game we've played against Tel Aviv.
I think you're right, Gary.
Now, obviously, we've been on a bit of a European journey, haven't we, in the last 3 years? Conference League, Champions League, now the Europa League. I mean, let's be honest, European nights at Villa Park are usually different gravy, but this is going to be different as there's no away fans. And one of the things I wanted to say is I've got a ticket for the game, but I don't think I'm going to go at the request of my wife because she's asked that I don't. I usually go with my daughter and she's concerned that there's going to be trouble. I think there is a alleged peaceful protest planned for 6 p.m. on Thursday before the game. And although Tel Aviv fans will not be inside the stadium, I've got a horrible feeling that some may just turn up anyway to cause some destruction. And I think with Aston being a very highly populated Muslim area, I think it just spells trouble. And so I don't want to risk getting injured or dying over a football match. So I'm going to be doing a live watch along, and I implore you to come and join me and watch it live with me in the safety of your own home, and we can pick it apart. But if you are going the game, please be vigilant, please stay safe, and hopefully nothing will happen, and we'll get through the game and win this game comfortably. Thoughts, Ben?
Absolutely. Hopefully they're prepared for the worst, but we'll get the best, and it'll all go off without any problem at all.
Yeah.
But I'll probably be even safer because I can't even watch the game on the telly, mate. I'm at some work function. So I've got to put my dicky bow on and go and look smart at some awards ceremony.
Oh, mate, we should have got you on for Thursday with a dicky bow for an extra kind of like, and he's in the field and he's dressed up for the occasion. He's got his dicky bow on. He's got a penguin suit, like kind of.
I don't even know if I can fit in it anymore.
Well, mate, I haven't even got one. I think last time I wore one was probably 3 Christmases ago, and I've definitely put on a bit of timber since then. That's for sure. Every week we follow a Gary eating food. Maybe that's
a middle age, mate.
Yeah. Well, do you know what, right? I've had to pick up some glasses today. My eyesight's been perfect for 46 years, and I just had a message that I was entitled to a free eye test. So I went, and they went, "Have you had any issues?" And to be honest, like recently, in the last 5 or 6 months, I've had a bit of blurred vision when I've been looking at screens and stuff. Because obviously I've been looking.
This podcasting you're doing.
Well, exactly. I've been staring at screens much more than I ever have, and so I need reading glasses, and I've just picked them up today, and I've taken them off for the show, but I've been doing like various things today with them on, and it doesn't half make a difference. I think I leave it, but the guy who did my eye appointment basically laughed at me. He was a young lad. He must have been in his mid-20s, and he went, "How old are you?" And I went, 46. I said, "My eyesight's always been great." He went, "It's just your age, mate." And I just thought, "You cheeky bastard."
Well, not dissimilarly, mate. I mean, in my job, I sit in front of a screen, almost all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I got to the stage about 10, 12 years ago where it was like, but I'm the opposite. I can't see long-sighted stuff.
Yeah.
I'm fine all close up and reading, and I was really, really struggling to watch football or whatever on the telly. I couldn't read the score, and the ball was always blurred.
Blurry, yeah.
So I went and got my eyes tested, and I realised how freaking expensive it is for a pair of glasses. So I went and bought a bigger TV.
Shit. Whatever, I thought, Sarah Bennett, if you're watching this, right?
Well, the second part of that was that was 10 or 12 years ago, yeah. And then it got to the stage where I started not being able to see the score and the clock on the bigger TV, and I went, I can't get a bigger TV into this room, so I had to bite the bullet and get some glasses. And that was about 2 or 3 years ago, and I haven't, no pun intended, but I haven't looked back. Yeah, they make such a difference.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. But look, I guess now for many Villa fans, particularly younger generations, like this is going to be the first experience of this fixture, just like it is for the rest of us. I don't know a great deal about Tel Aviv, if I'm honest. I know they've played in numerous cup competitions, and they're the biggest club in Israel, aren't they? By a country mile.
Yeah. I knew very little about them until earlier today when you asked me back on, and I rushed around doing a little bit of searching. So
and you can get into these facts. So I did a little bit, but probably nowhere near yours. Just that they're deemed as a massive club. They've got a huge history, fan base that demands success and like to burn stuff to the ground. Sorry, that's just what I've witnessed on the news. Hopefully, that's not all of you.
Let's not get into that. Let's leave politics to the politicians. We'll stick to football, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. And they're used to playing in European competitions, right? So I don't think this is going to be a walk in the score 4 and go home kind of night. I think it's going to be a proper test for us. I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think.
I've mixed feelings on it. I would really, really be upset if we didn't dispatch them easily at Villa Park. That said, if there's lots of fans like you that aren't going to go, and Villa Park's half full, and it's a bit of an eerie atmosphere, who knows whether Fortress Villa Park becomes something a bit simpler to siege. So I honestly don't know, but what I do know is what I've learnt today, what I've read today, is they're the oldest team in Israel. They were formed in 1906. They were originally formed as Harishon LeZion Yafo, if my pronunciation's right.
That's in the comments.
Yeah. And then they became Maccabi Tel Aviv in 1909. Because until 1909, I didn't know this, so every day is a learning day. Tel Aviv itself didn't exist. So the city was actually formed. I didn't want to go into the rabbit hole of the history of Tel Aviv and how that formed, but Tel Aviv as a geographical landmark became Tel Aviv in 1909. And the club took the city's name. They're the most successful club in Israel. So yeah, as you say, the fans demand success. They've won the league title 26 times. So they're in Israeli terms, they're pretty decent, aren't they? What that puts them on European terms, I don't know. And they're the only team in Israel never to have been relegated. It's an interesting stat in itself.
That is an interesting stat.
Yeah,
but again, what's the competition like in Israel?
Well, this is it, isn't it? I mean, the only until I started looking at the league table and stuff today, the only other Israeli team I could think of off the top of my head was Hapoel Haifa.
Yeah.
So I honestly I don't know.
I couldn't tell you another. Those two you've just mentioned. Like, these are the only two teams that I know that play in that division.
Who I think, if my memory serves me, we actually had played two fixtures. I think in the old UEFA Cup back in the late 90s against Hapoel Haifa. Put some comments in if I got that wrong. But I
was going to say, please let us know in the comments.
Might be the case, which is probably why I've heard of them.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're not wrong. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, let us know in the comments if Benny's correct or not. That'd be amazing.
But I wasn't researching them, so that's just what's in this grey matter, and it's probably very wrong.
Your general knowledge, mate. I appreciate that.
And they've been Israeli champions for the last 2 seasons. So as you say, they're probably half decent and not going to be a pushover. Notable people. I went through their squad list. Hadn't heard of any of them. Went through all their past managers, and I came up with Avram Grant's had 2 stints.
Yes. Did he play for them as well?
I only went through their current squad list. I didn't go through his. Possibly, I don't know.
I think he might have played for them back in the day. Don't know. Let me know in the comments on that one. I might have got that wrong. Possibly.
Robbie Keane, of all people, managed them between 23 and 24.
Is he?
Yeah.
No way.
Well, there you go. No.
Well, mate,
when I saw
that, I did not know that.
I kind of think I remember hearing about that, and then it's like, oh well, whatever. But yeah. But most interestingly to me, because we met him at the book signing, Unai's number 2, Paco Esteran, managed them between 2014 and 2015.
So there's
a bit of a link.
There's a bit of a link, and hopefully you'll know a little bit about them.
Well, it was a decade ago, so maybe not.
Well, no, but in terms of the ethos of the club and what it's about and how to approach and how they approach games, most successful teams like that dominate their league so massively usually play a certain way, right? And kind of you're going to have an insight to how the clubs run and what it's a good connection to have for me. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I agree. Obviously, in terms of whatever metric UEFA use in qualifying for these tournaments, the Israeli league is fairly low on them because they have to come through qualifying, even though they are champions.
Yeah.
So
that speaks volumes again for the.
They beat the mighty Gary. Last time I was on, you gave me the hat-trick quiz. I'll just give you one question. They beat the mighty Hamrun Spartans. Go on, where are they from?
Hamrun Spartans.
While you think about it, they beat them 5-2 on aggregate over the 2 legs.
Hamrun Spartans. Sparta.
You want a clue?
Go on, give me a clue.
Nice holiday island in the Mediterranean.
Oh, mate, you've tested my geography skills now. No, I don't know.
Beginning with M. 5 letters.
Beginning with M?
Yeah.
Malta?
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes, they defeated the mighty Hamrun Spartans of Malta 5-2 over 2 legs.
Okay.
And then
that was their qualifying game, yeah.
That was their first qualifying game, and then they had to go into a qualifying playoff. And they beat Dynamo Kiev, or Kiev, as I think we have to say these days. And they beat them 3-2 on aggregate. I believe they beat them 3-1 at home and lost 1-0 away.
Okay.
So and then so they got into the group stage and currently sit 32nd in the league table.
Okay.
Relatively fledgling, I suppose, after only 3 games. They're chasing their first win. Having first up drawn 0-0 with PAOK, who are Greek. I wasn't going to test you twice, Gaz.
No. I appreciate that, Ben. Put me on the spot, you know.
Interestingly, PAOK are 20th in the league table.
Okay.
Then they lost 3-1 at home to Dinamo Zagreb, who are 4th in the league table with 2 wins and 1 draw.
Okay.
And then I thought to myself, hey, let's get in here. They lost 3-0 at home to Midtjylland. I thought, Midtjylland, they can't be good, can they? Until I saw they're top of the league 3 from 3.
Mate, how are we not 3 from that go-ahead Eagles game? Was just doing my nutting. You know, I think we have to win this game. We just have to kind of.
They've scored. They've played 3 games in this tournament. They've conceded 6 and scored 1. So I'm not being funny, but and I know you put for the go-ahead Eagles or whatever they are called. We battered this lot, which really aged well, didn't it? I'd be really disappointed if we don't batter this lot at home.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I just think with everything that surrounds the game, I just don't think it's going to be as easy as we probably want it to be. And after the go-ahead Eagles game where we turned up and just expected to win by turning up, we can't do that. I know it's different on the Villa Park, but like you said, with potentially empty seats around the stadium, no away fans, it's going to be an interesting atmosphere, and it's whether we can get up for it. And if we play like we know we can play and we hit the ground with some tempo, but I envisage that these are going to come and play a low block, mate. If they've already conceded 6 goals and only, scored 1, that it makes sense for them to keep it tight, trying it on the counter attack.
Of course, it does. Playing away European game. That's how you'd expect them to set that. I really struggle to find any info on what their favoured style of play is. I was getting conflicting reports on what sort of formation they play most often, between a 4-3-3 and a 4-3-2-1.
Yeah.
So maybe the 4-3-2-1. Some people would just call a 4-3-3. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that is. But I well imagine they'll set up to defend and try and come away with something. What I have found is a few match reports. They have a habit of being fairly aggressive and can see they have a lot of free kicks.
They don't. That does surprise me.
So let's hope Austin McPhee has drilled our boys well and
fraud.
In answer, I saw one of your commenters said, "Where is he? Hasn't been seen in a number of games." It was because he's got injured on international duty, wasn't it?
Probably like printing stuff off his computer. Repetitive strain injury. I don't know. But again, the Austin McPhee situation, it's weird because I think he's clearly well respected and liked within the footballing world. And it's one of those.
He must be doing something right, mustn't he?
Well, I guess his day-to-day stuff must be exceptional, but on game days, I just don't see. I don't see a cohesion in set pieces that works for us really well. What I see is a lot of wasted turnovers that we kind of.
I don't disagree, and I think actually, there was a period where I thought actually our set plays were really quite good and inventive, and we caught teams out. And just don't see that we've done a great deal from corners and free kicks for the last year, to be honest. No. But it's interesting because I don't know how far through Gillam's book you got, but there's a section on him in there briefly. He's the only member of Gerard's staff that got kept on.
Yeah.
And he got kept on a 6-month trial, and it worked for both parties. So he's a full-time member of the staff now. I think he's the only non-Spanish member.
Yeah, well, he came he was with Dean Smith's backroom staff, so he survived like 3 managers, and I'm like, how?
Yeah,
like, but like I could say, he's day to day. Like I think the players respect him, and I think there's definitely something there. So well,
he's done what, Scotland, and is he in with Portugal now?
Portugal, yeah.
So he's I don't know.
Anyway, I digress.
We do. We have a habit of that, mate.
But potentially, say we digress. But if they are a physical side that are going to put themselves about, which we, I guess that you'd expect that in a low block, just kind of be tight, get some tackles in, take out key players like Rodgers, who I assume will probably start. Set pieces could be key actually, and delivering them or scoring from one could be crucial. It could be the thing that makes them fall apart. I don't know, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how they approach the game.
So on that basis, Gary, even though you've just slagged him off earlier today, appreciate this. He's going out on Wednesday, so earlier today being Monday. Do you play Dean to take a free kick?
No, absolutely not, mate. Fucking no way. I'll say what I said on Monday's show, right? Which was basically, I've got a lot of respect for Dina. I think he's overperformed to keep Maatsen out of the squad, right? And he's done a great job. But, with Maatsen knocking on the door and probably deserving more minutes, that performance against Liverpool on Saturday from Dina was really poor. And mainly because of how experienced he is against Salah, who, let's be honest, has lost a yard of pace. He's still a great player, right, and still offers a lot for Liverpool. But you cannot go touch tight on Salah, right, and expect anything other than getting turned over. And if you do, let's say because you want to start with I want to let him know I'm here, so I'm going to get up his arse and I'm going to make sure he knows that there's a tackle coming in. Pardon my French, and it would be French because he's Dina, right? Like after the 3 times in the first half it happened. After that, why didn't he just take a step back and allow him to run at him? Because he wouldn't have beat him for pace. I don't think he would have. And what he did was he's allowed Salah just to expose us down that right hand side. And it was just poor. And I thought when Maatsen came on in the second half, even though it was only for 8 minutes, in those 8 minutes he looked lively. He linked up well with Jadon Sancho. He had a brilliant header clearance off the back post that was a certain goal.
Yeah.
This game is a great opportunity to explore that connection between Sancho and Maatsen. I don't think with set pieces, we've got other people that can take set pieces. Let Cash have a pop. There's McGinn could have a shot. So Dina for me, I think rest him for this one. Take him out the forward line. He's had 2 very good.
I don't disagree. I was being slightly facetious, to be honest, when I asked the question because no spoilers. He ate in my starting lineup. And the only other thing I found out about other than their pretty kits, is
speaking of pretty kits, so we have a look at these what they're going to perform in. So this is what you found earlier. Their
kit's made by Puma. Like every other team, they got 4 kits. I'm guessing they'll play in their home kit of yellow and blue, but it's European tie, so who knows? It'll probably be one of the white kits.
Yeah, I'd probably go in that white bottom left. That would probably be the choice for me.
I'm guessing the blue one as a dark one will be the least likely, given we'll be in a dark kit. So but there's no kit clash there, so it could be one of any of those.
Yeah, well, like I say, if you're out and about going to the game, watch out for these colours somewhere because chances are it's not going to be a friendly encounter if you come across them. So just be aware. So onto that then, mate. Should we get onto the starting lineup?
Just the only player of any significance. Not that I've heard of him, but he came up, seemingly a bit of their superstar in most reports. I flicked through. Is their centre midfielder, Dorperetz. So everything apparently goes through him.
Okay. What do we know about him? And anything? Has he played for anybody that we know of? Or I've never heard of him. So.
Maccabi Tel Aviv.
So to Maccabi? Has he played for anyone?
Oh no, I have no idea.
No.
I'll tell a lie. I've got one other stat to give you, or snippet of info to give you. Their squad is primarily Israeli players, and very, as I said before, non-household names.
Yeah.
The Israeli league rule is you're only allowed 6 non-Israeli nationals in your squad.
Wow, that's almost like going back to the 3 European rules back in the day. Which again speaks a lot about stuff. Anyway, moving on. Let's get on to your starting. So you sent me your starting 11, mate. Here it is. Go. Let's talk us through this.
I've gone with Bizot, and I went with Bizot for the Buffet Bar Eagles game as well, because I thought Martinez just wouldn't be playing, but obviously I got that very wrong, and he did. But I think Bizot just deserves a game, and after that howler by Emmy, on Saturday,
I
just
agree.
think you've got to give him a run out. You can't expect players, and I always feel sorry for goalkeepers. Suddenly there's an injury, and you're thrown into the mixer, and you haven't played in 6 months. You're expected to perform. I always felt a bit sorry for God, what was he called? The guy who left in the summer. Olsen.
Olsen.
I always felt a bit sorry for Olsen because he was just sitting there on the bench. All of a sudden, Emmy would decide he didn't want to come out after half time. And it's like, follow this. It's like, oh shit. Yeah, can't be an enviable. So for me, you give Bizot a run out.
He's a definite upgrade to Olsen, 100%. And I think you're absolutely right. I agree with that. I think after Emmy's performance on Saturday, he needs to be taken out of the firing line a little bit. And Bizot's done nothing wrong when he's played, and I think you might. We talk about utilising the squad we've got. So Europe and Cup games, this is an ideal opportunity, right?
And that's what I'm trying to do with this lineup. And as I said to you when I sent it across, I'm not sure if this is the lineup I think I want him to play, or the lineup I think he might play, or some kind of, bastardization of the two. But I've utterly confused myself. But I'll try and talk you through my logic.
Go on.
See if my bullshit can baffle you as much as I've baffled myself. So, Cash plays simply because there is no other option. I mean, if anyone can tell me what's wrong with Gus here, put it in the comments, because wasn't he fit in a match day squad 2 or 3 weeks ago? Then's not been seen since.
He was.
Was it a hamstring, and now it's just sort of an undisclosed injury? So I don't know. Is it personal problems? Who
we don't know, mate. Him and Tillemans just seem to. The update is they're just not available. There's no update about what the injury is, how long it's going to be. The cards are close to the chest. It's a bit frustrating, really, because. But I guess that's the club's discretion not to tell us. So.
Yeah, I guess so. And then, I've said there's no alternative. So I guess there's Lindelof, which I picked Lindelof in Conser's position last time, and did mention that he might push him out to right back, but didn't think he would, and then he did.
Yeah.
So, but he was awful there. He gave us no width at all, no attacking presence. So I'm picking him, at centre half for 2 reasons. One, like I've just said with Bizot, I think he needs game time. Yeah. And this is the opportunity. We're playing a team at home that we've just seen can't score. They scored 1 goal in 3 games. Yeah. So do we need our strongest defence out there? Hopefully not. So I want to protect Conser. So that's why. Fortunately, we got no alternative now with Mings having got injured. So Powell plays. Unless he chooses to put Bogard back there or something, but I can't see it. And then, as we discussed, it's got to be Maatsen, hasn't it?
Yep, I agree with that 100%.
So then I think Bogard deserves a run out. I don't think he's played since the Go-Ag game, and he was playing very well in the league. So for me, he plays. Again, I thought
he was our best player against the Go Ahead Eagles. I thought he was good, and I agree with that too. Yeah,
I think Kamara. Again, as I said last time round, we've got to protect, and I think Onana as well. I think he's played. The last 3 games in the league, and he's played really well, especially against City. I thought he was pretty decent. If not the best player we had against Liverpool as well. And we already know he's prone to injury, so let's protect him.
Yep.
And then Buendía, the rumours are he's going to be fit for the game, so I'd shove him straight back in if he is, because the alternative out there is either Elliott, who there's something, the curious case of Harvey Elliott. Let's just leave it at that. I don't expect him to see him.
Last scene where, like, I mean, the crazy thing is that surely this is an opportunity to play him in this position, because as much as if Buendía is fit, right, do you want to start him and risk him? If he's obviously injured his foot and it's obviously not as bad as we thought it was, but to throw him straight back in, would it be better playing Elliott for 60 minutes and then bringing Buendía on?
Gary, that's what I'd do, mate. But this is probably where I'm going. I don't know if it's what I want or what I think Unai will play. Yeah, I just don't think we're going to see Harvey Elliott, are we? There's something mysterious going on there. And
I don't think Emery is a fan. I think he doesn't want to trigger that clause to the option to buy. And I think because there's been times when he could have easily utilised Elliott's experience, really, like in the go-ahead Eagles game, even if it's just the European games. But he played against Fulham, and we haven't seen him since because he passes the ball too quickly. What the fuck is that about? Yeah.
I think it comes back to Emery's desire to keep hold of possession at all costs, and if it's not on, don't force a pass. You recycle the ball. Which is what Pep always wanted out of Grealish, which frustrated us all so much, isn't it? But I think some of it got lost in the translation there, to be fair to Unai. But yeah, totally agree. We haven't seen him since. I anticipate he'll probably be on the bench, but not get on.
What's going on?
Are you there?
You're still there, Ben?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Well, I think my internet just started. I do apologise. So just say the last thing you said because
I said that I anticipate we'll probably see Elliott on the bench, but he won't get on. Purely and simply because of the squad registration rules, and we haven't got enough players otherwise we'll already probably have 2 or 3 keepers on the bench and a load of kids you never heard of. So I expect him to be an unused sub. Then on the other flank, Sancho, because as we've said already, linking up with Maatsen down there, I think there's a promising, partnership there. Well, it's already flourished at Dortmund, hasn't it? So, and it looked like it was going to work against Go Ahead Eagles. So I anticipate he'll go exactly the same way. And hopefully we can get the best out of Sancho and we can start unlocking some defences with some of his trickery.
Yeah.
And then I'm actually going with Rodgers because I just think he's bang back in form. Let's keep playing. Against my better instinct the last time to rest him. I think we need to put a few goals past this lot. Let's actually play because he's bang in form. Which then brings me on to who's playing up front, and frankly, I think Ollie's unselectable these days. So even though I don't think Malen is an out-and-out striker, against this lot with those 3 behind him, I reckon they can all interchange. Maybe play effectively with a false 9 rather than the true 9. And let's just try and score some goals and unlock this what is inevitably going to be a low block.
Yeah, mate, that's good. I don't disagree with any of that. I think that's a strong enough side to do damage. I think whether he plays Bogard or not will be questionable, and whether Buendía starts. But like I say,
Buendía is for me the question mark. If he doesn't, I'd imagine it'll be Guessond.
Yeah.
I considered putting Guessond up front. My viewpoint on that was, we're playing Ollie Watkins up front because he works hard, but there's no end product. So let's put the big man up front to work hard with no end product.
Well, I mean,
not going to make any difference, is it?
No, it's not. And I think that brings me nicely on to talking about Daniel Malen. Really, I think we want to end the show talking about him because, we were talking slightly off air a couple of weeks ago. Jacob Tanswell wrote an article about him and about where he fits into the Villa setup. And I just find it really fascinating. A couple of things that from that article that I didn't know, which was one, he was at Arsenal for 2 years from 2015 to 2017, and made one senior appearance apparently.
Yeah, wasn't he in their academy?
Yeah, he was in their academy, like as a youngster.
He struggled in it, I think. I remember, you've jogged a memory. I remember reading something about that when we first signed him.
Yeah. And so, experience of playing in England, I think the other thing is that I didn't realise that we chased him for as long as we did. It sounded like a 3-year chasing period of trying to get his signature.
So then not play him? How peculiar is that?
It's baffling my head even more. Like, why would it's a player that Emery wanted, a player that he's actively chased, and you get him, and then so the problem is, and the article speaks about like that. How does he fit in? Because he kind of falls through the cracks as a striker because he's not a natural number 9. He's not a number 10. He's not a wide player. So you play him as another forward, which we've only done once against Burnley,
and it worked a treat.
And it worked brilliantly, right? He's a natural finisher for me. He's instinctive, and like you go, okay, so then maybe that's a try, and maybe you're a bit nervous with the fixture that we had that wouldn't have worked against the likes of Spurs and City. Yeah. Fine, right? But this game tomorrow, right, is an opportunity to do it again.
Yeah. But maybe it'll bring out the best out of Ollie. We both read that Guardian thing, the 10 things we've learned from the weekend, and it's talking about Ollie Watkins effectively, needing to change his game if he wants to get on the plane to the States next year. Oh. Maybe if he's unwilling to change his game, maybe we need to change our game, and maybe actually playing Malen off him like we did against Burnley might bring out the best in him.
Well, if I was Emery,
it's got some maybes, I don't know, but can't be. It's got to be worth trying. Can't be any worse, can it?
No, it can't, and exactly because fundamentally we've got a problem with scoring goals. Our XG is too low. Right? We're not. We're creating the well.
It has been for 18 months now, Gary.
Yeah, but
I've moaned about Ollie Watkins for a good 18 months, and most people until this season have told me I'm mad. He's only behind Salah and Haaland in goal involvements and this, that, and the other. And I go, yeah, but he should be up there because he's missing 30 odd chances a season. It's not. He shouldn't be only behind them. He should be level with them.
Mate, it's basically. I think the stat is more like he's scoring a goal every 10 shots.
He's not. Look, we're over a quarter away into the season now, and he's got 1 goal. He's not even going to crack up the figures. I know his goals generally come in streaks, but to get up to what he's got the previous couple of seasons, he's got to have to score so many hat tricks now.
Well, mate, let's hope he turns it around, right? And he does, because I'm all for him performing and hitting the heights that we've seen in previous seasons, but I just got a sneaky feeling that he's hit the peak and we're just on the down.
He hit the peak in 23, 24.
24, yeah.
When he should have got 20 goals and he kind of, choked and only got 19. I mean, I felt sorry he had one chalked off a couple of games from the end, didn't he?
Which is why with that system that we played against Burnley, if it worked, come on, just give it a go. Give Malen a chance. Like he's scored 2 goals in every game I've watched. Even on Saturday when he came on against Liverpool, he looked lively. He created a chance for himself.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that he doesn't do. Apparently, this is one of the things in this article that say that he's not a player that creates chances. He usually gets on the end of them. Yeah. And I'm like,
you can see that.
If we're creating chances and he gets on the end of them, why the fuck are we not utilising that? I don't understand.
I don't know. And the peculiar thing is as well, I read an article when we signed him that one of his former coaches was saying that, he's got everything in his locker to be truly world class. The problem is he's a confidence player. And what are we doing? What's Unai doing? If he is a confidence player, just signing him, undoubtedly in January saying you're going to be a Champions League player and then not getting him, putting you in the squad, leaving him out for 2 loanies that aren't going to be here in 3 months' time. And then this season, when they've gone, Ramsey's gone, he still can't get a sniff. And you got your out-and-out striker. Couldn't finish his fucking dinner.
Yeah, make it make sense, Ben. Make it make sense. Hopefully, he'll be given a run of games to give him a shot at it, because what's the alternative? We're not, even if we get something in January, it's going to be ultimately a loan signing or an unknown, right? So surely we've got to take a punt. Come on, Unai, give this guy a shot, because as a fan watching him, surely he's doing enough in the brief minutes he's getting to give himself a shot. Give him a run of 3 or 4 games because Watkins isn't doing it. So give him a chance. You know,
Absolutely.
we've got actually. You could say that the next month, right before we hit December with these really tough fixtures, that he could play in the European fixtures and he could certainly play against Leeds and Wolves, right? And so, you know, stick to Bournemouth with what we know, right? Because we know how they're going to play, right? But after that, right, in that month, in the month of November, we should absolutely be looking at utilising him. And then come to December where we know we've got some tough games. We can go back and revert if we need to. But, you know,
it'd be really interesting. Because obviously we're, a week away now for the next really frustrating international break.
Yeah, fucking hell. Forgot about that. 13th,
Bournemouth's the last game, isn't it, on Sunday? Be interested to see whether Tuchel's going to, you know, persevere with Ollie or whether he's seen enough to go, you're just not doing it and I'm selecting on form.
You wouldn't, would you? You'd go with, at the moment, you'd go with Kane and Rashford. They're both absolutely lighting up European football.
Or Welbeck.
Welbeck. Yeah, if you're talking on form in the Premier League, English players, absolutely. Right, mate, we're going to have to push on because one, my battery might die on my iPad and I don't want another blackout. So to finish the show, we're going to do score predictions. I haven't got my pen and paper with me, so we're just going to hold up our hands of what you think the score
will be. I've already written mine down, but I can do it by hand if you want.
Oh, no, mate, in that case, let me get my pen and paper.
Okay.
Because it's only over here.
Try to spoil my artwork.
Usually I'm so prepared, mate, and I've got my little celebrity matchbook and pen.
Are you going to sing to me about your little black book?
Yeah, you're more than a result in my little black book. You're more than a one-night stand.
That's going to nice you to say, Gaz.
Well, you know, mate, you are, mate. He's more of a settled down kind of partner. Right.
Does Sarah know about this?
Of course, mate. She knows I'm gay, really.
In the sense of happy.
In the sense of happy. Right.
I've done mine with my marker, and I've just realised that actually my marker's gone through the piece of paper, and I've now marked my desk.
Okay. Right. So you go first, Ben, because you're the guest. Let us know what you feel like the score's going to be.
Okay. Even though we've said it might not be no pushover, and we're not going to go, or I think your words were, we're not going to go and put 4 past these.
Oh, Malen 2, Sancho Rogers. Mate, I'd take that all day long. Fair play, confident. Okay, I'm not as confident as you. I think with everything that's surrounding the game, and I just think it's going to be a weird atmosphere. After losing on Saturday, maybe changes being made. Will we come out and play the fluid football? We know we can. I still think we should win the game and win it comfortably, but I am going with Villa 2, Tel Aviv 0.
Yeah, fair enough. You're probably right, if I'm honest. I'm just hoping at some stage this season the floodgates will open because we need them to. And do you know we've only scored more than 2 goals once this season in all comps? Yeah,
I know it's dreadful, isn't it? That's the XG. And look, I have this thing, mate, of every prediction where I have my head and my heart. That's my head prediction. My heart screams 4-0. And I thought that at the start of the day, we should be hammering these 4-0. But then my sensible brain goes, no, there's lots going on. If you changed it around and it doesn't quite work, you know, let's see what happens.
I know we royally fucked up against the go-ahead Eagles. But that game could have been 3-4-0 after 15, 20 minutes.
It could have. And that's what I'm saying.
I've got a feeling that could be the way this game goes.
Let's hope so. Let's hope.
And then we can ease off and rest players and, you know.
That's what we need because Bournemouth on Sunday is going to be a fucking tough game, mate. And
although they've only won 1 away from home this season.
Yeah, but I watched them against City, mate. They're a good team, and look, we've got to be at the races. I think if we play like we did against Man City at home, I think we can beat them. I fancy us at home. We'll talk about that more on the next show. I'll see you all at Villa Park on Sunday because I'm definitely going to that game. If you are going on Thursday, please be vigilant. Please stay safe. Let us know in the comments if you are going. Like and subscribe. Ben, thank you so much for coming on and filling in for James. It's most appreciated.
I'll say welcome back to James at the weekend, and hopefully I've kept your seat warm for you, sir.
Yes, mate. And we'll get you on again, Ben, because it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I love chatting Villa.
Anytime, Gary. But I appreciate you on James's pod. So yeah, no offense taken if it's 6 months or so or more.
Well,
I'll stick with drinking beer in the attic every so often with you.
Well, if not, we'll see you back for the 7th of December for the episode 3 of Claret and Brewery. So stay tuned for that tomorrow, people. That is out on YouTube. It'll be out tomorrow morning, so make sure you go and check that out. And as always, I'll end it with, every week we follow the boys in Claret and Blue. Peace and love, people.